What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Triangl. This is your boy D.
And it's your girl, CJ.
And this pussy is only for blacks only. Randy. What's up?
Pussy popping on their hands.
Pussy popping on our hands. Hit now.
We didn't wait. Not 10 seconds. Not 10
I
seconds.
would never give it up to like one. There's not one white man or like a Latino.
Oh,
man
no. I can make a list of some.
Oh,
I'm just saying. But that's like in super fantasy land because the ones that I want, them ain't the ones you run into every day at like Walmart or
your
stuff
average
like that.
run-of-the-mill white man.
No, I'm
Latino
talking
man.
about some fucking old boy who played a Witcher in Superman. Like
What about
think
the
he's
Asian?
attractive.
What about
First
the
of all,
Asian man?
it don't matter what you think. Oh no, I have like okay.
She's
So
rude.
I don't know if you watched. No, he's fine as fuck to me. If you watched Anaconda 2, which was very awful.
My
It was
Anaconda
so
don't.
off. Well, my Anaconda do for the Asian boy in that. Because the fact that I was checking for him more than Morris Chestnut, I was like, you are fine as hell. And the guy who originally played Liu
What's
Kang,
up?
and look that shit up, he's fine
Please
as hell.
do.
And the guy who played Liu Kang on the original Mortal Kombat, he
You
can get it
stupid.
too. Liu can get it too.
Now Luke can get it too. I'm done.
Luke can get it,
I'm
okay?
done. I
He
can't.
can over
Anaconda
look. He was fine as hell.
Listen.
And I used to play him all the time on Super
I want to
Nintendo.
see
You see him? Do you see him?
him?
Do you
Show
see him?
us.
All right.
Show
What's his
us.
name?
He's fine as hell. I probably can't pronounce his name, but he's fine.
I mean, I just want to see.
Hold on, let me
what she's
find.
talking about. Me and Brandy would never fight over men. Ever. We have such different
I would let you
tastes.
have all the bears because I'm like, burly white guy with a beard is her thing. And
you know what?
Well,
It wasn't always like that, though. That's the weird part.
I'm like, that's her thing. And I'm like, to the left, to the left.
I'm trying to find a good picture.
I dated a lot of band guys, like, when I was younger. Like, the San Antonio scene was like, I was a scene kid, so.
Yes, scene kid.
I dated, like, drummers and shit. Like, guitar players and bass players and shit. I'm serious. Like, I just
what is D doing? Are you hacking into
I'm trying to.
Oh, no, he looks like he's about to, like,
he looks like he's hacking.
fucking anonymous hack into some shit. Oh,
he looked like he was.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, see, that's never. He's not my
girl.
Type. Look at these.
And then listen,
in the corner.
I think he had his shirt off at one point, and I was like,
She said, "Ow!" Remember that one random person in the audience to be like,
"Ow!"
Oh my god!
O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
Oh no! That's the shit my fucking kids be doing in the house. Yesterday, my 4-year-old was talking about liberty, liberty, liberty. I was like, "What are you doing, Heather? What are you doing?" I can't. Anyway, so
he being the me. He being the me.
Can I say something about this fucking?
So am I. Shit.
Wearing these masks every day makes me really sad that I can't wear my
Being the me.
Really?
Being the me.
What do you mean, really? He's fine.
Okay. I mean,
yo, really?
Yo, bang.
You like niggas that just like look like they don't wash on a regular.
What does that mean? Are you saying that Rob looked like he don't wash? Look, he just walked into.
Let me finish. And I don't mean like they're gonna be dirty and unkept. I mean like they're kind of a man of the woods,
scruffy man.
Yeah, she like them.
Mean, but he's pretty like slightly metro, like.
Girl, no, he's not metro at all.
Girl,
slightly.
let me go.
Are you gonna do the Viola?
Look at his face. Look at his face.
CJ is starting out the podcast lying
And shit.
Staring at y'all. He's staring at y'all. What? I'm done. No,
he's
for
not
real.
metro.
I mean, okay,
Girl.
not like metro in the sense that he needs to like high maintenance. I'm saying like, you know, he like,
Does he smoke cigars?
He doesn't smoke cigars. He doesn't like.
He looks like he smokes cigars.
He looks like he's not metro.
Cigars.
He looks like exactly like I was explaining, and that's what CJ likes, which is fine.
Like he'd wear a suit with that beard and comb it over and smoke a cigar.
My taste has changed over the years. Like because I used to date a bunch of like. Not like a bunch, but like mainly band people.
You just saying not a bunch because Rob is
She's like, well, not a bunch.
I be acting like he don't listen to every single goddamn episode we put out. Like he do.
Oh God.
I don't know how he deals with it, but he does. But yeah, no. I mean, he was a fuck boy too, so we understand each other. Like
Rob he doesn't look like a fuck boy at all.
He was though, with his damn affliction shirts and shit. I already know.
Oh, he was an affliction fuck boy?
Yeah, he was a fuck boy.
Ones.
Him and Dan. I was just making fun of both of them last night because I was like, y'all motherfuckers.
See, that's the difference. Your
brother did he wear the
still
faux
looks like a fuck boy. That's
did you have a faux hawk? You did a faux hawk for a while. Yeah, he did.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck.
And that's when CJ was like, I'm going to marry him. Make him want to marry me.
I mean, you know.
She had on a fucking Christian Audige shirt. She's like, I'm going to marry him.
Ew. Oh, my God. Gross. I'm going to get him.
Some Ed Hardy.
You're just going to have to wait to listen to the episode, babe. I know you can't hear them because he can't hear y'all, but he's just, he got his arms crossed. He's just staring. Look at him. Look at him.
Listening.
He's just staring at us.
He's going to be listening.
Do it again. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
No, let's just you know how I know he was a fuck boy? He don't got it now, and he like lost it before he like met me. But he used to have like he re-pierced his ears after we started dating again. But his ears were pierced. He had double nipples pierced, and he had a tongue ring. You're not gonna tell me that was not a fuck boy.
Wait a minute. Did he have like? Did he do any gauges, or it was just
gauges?
Yeah,
gauges.
Gross.
I'm just saying. I'm just wondering why those nipple piercings and tongue rings are gone now. Oh, he had 12 gauges right here. How did you do that?
The fact that he did that and clearly it didn't stop no show. CJ was like, I'm sold. We can work this out.
We can work it out. It's all good. He was actually probably worse than I am. I'm gonna put it out there. He's just like, I don't know.
That's all I do. I'll hoe out, and then when I'm remarried, I'll be like, I don't know.
I don't know. It's cool. Anyway, we off task from the get-go. Just the get-go. Anyway, so today's episode, we're going to keep it kind of short and sweet because everybody's tired this week. I think we just have a lot going on, and being black makes it hard right now.
I want a lemon bar. I'm going to get a lemon bar.
So we about to talk about how all these white people are trying to pacify us and whatnot. With
like the Nancy Pelosi taking a kneel?
I mean, that's part of it.
With the fucking kente cloth?
That's part of it too. But it's the kente cloth was a bit much. The
kente cloth was over the fucking
I was very uncomfortable. I was
that shit made my butthole clench. You know how when something uncomfortable happens and makes your butthole clench? You're like,
Look, the kente
cloth. What are we talking about? Butthole clenching? What's
he was
Nancy Pelosi taking a knee with the kente cloth.
That made your asshole go.
Well, it makes me uncomfortable, and I just was looking at all them white folks with them on, and I'm like, this isn't what we asked for.
What pissed me off even more was the black folks that had them on. I said, take that. What
Man,
the fuck are you doing?
know they just did it for the paper.
They do anything for clout.
That goes into like do anything for clout.
Right, they do anything.
I mean,
that goes
problem,
into like what we
though.
talked about before, where because the NWA talked about this too. Plenty of times, it don't matter what somebody looks like. You could think someone's your brother, but once he got on that uniform, he's bleeding blue.
Yeah,
it's the same thing once you in there for politics. That shit is blood in, blood out politics. So they very much their party, and yeah, it was very cringe. But like Dee said before, I don't like when we have real life issues going on and you guys want to make them, voting points. I'm like, bitch, like
I'm saying
for us.
Stop politicizing
somebody
shit
said,
that don't need to be politicized.
One of these, I found this guy, what's his name? Eric Haywood said, what if they like just pass some laws instead of dressing up like a Wakanda chess set? He took me out with that shit.
The Wakanda chess set had me dying when I see that.
He took me out with that shit.
That's exactly what they look like.
But what makes it bad is that's how they think, oh, we can win over the niggas if we do a little bit of this and that. But I will say this, not victim blaming, because a lot of times we are victims in the sense of just not having the access and opportunity to do shit the way we need to. But saying that to say we are too inviting for people to the quote unquote cookout, and because of them not having to do much, and I think that's because a lot of us just have big hearts and we know what it's like to be on the outside looking in,
right.
and we don't want anybody, majority of us, I can't speak for all of us, but I've never really run into a Black person that just wants somebody to feel how we feel.
Right.
That's not what a lot of us want.
Usually we just want the justice and the peace.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of hurt us a little bit, because I'm like, we don't have gatekeepers like that.
We're not being the gatekeepers. I was just about to say that shit.
We really do need that.
Shit.
That way people don't think they can just throw on some, like, half-ass Kunta Kinte cloth and be like, all right, we got them now.
Talk about,
you said Kunta Kinte.
It is though. I mean, let's talk. Oh, for real though, because this whole episode is going to be about how they try to pacify us and keep us, happy, quote unquote. Because like even senators are saying shit like, "Well, we gave you a Black president, right?" They were like, "We gave you Obama."
And that's a scary remark.
Yeah, but that's
itself.
how they feel.
We gave you a president.
And
the fact that they say it and they're basically like, so you should shut the fuck up because you had your little Black person.
We gave you a president leads me to believe that we don't pick our fucking presidents, like Randy always said the whole time.
We've been saying it.
We gave you a president? No, the people chose a president.
No, they didn't.
You didn't give us shit, I thought.
Yeah.
So
and they said you thought the fuck wrong.
The illusion is that the people picked the president. But the fact that they said we gave you a president leads you to believe, confirms that it's bullshit. It's all a sham.
But even when people, like, if they took all of our crazy ideas and concepts out of it, I'm like, pay more attention to Electoral College. Just pay more attention to everything that has shit to do with you and your little vote. Not to say that I'm a person that doesn't vote, because I still do. And I know everybody has their own reasons for why they vote or don't vote, but I still will. Mm-hmm. But I've always said that's just because people did way too much for me not to. Mm-hmm. And the more I'm learning stuff and the more I'm reading, the more I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this in honor of. It's the same thing with some military shit. I'm like, I'm doing this because I know how much it means to my parents and how they were both Marines. I may personally not give a fuck about some shit, but in reverence and respect to them and what they went through, I do. So it's a little different for everybody, but yeah, child, and they fucking up.
I mean, so let's talk about all of this. So obviously, the white congregation has given us everything but justice and police arrests for everything. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, do they still do public hangings, or is that frowned upon? Like, can we?
No, they do public lynchings.
They do public hangings. You haven't seen the news? The last 2-3 weeks, we've had 7 or 8 of us hanging from trees.
I'm like, not that, because that's murder. No matter how that's flat out murdering us.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. They are hangings.
Well, I didn't say public hangings and then these murders. I know that a body is hanging in public, yes. Mm-hmm. When I say public hangings, I literally mean take Breonna's killers. You take Ahmaud Arbery's. You take all these killers.
Oh, can you
go back and get? Can you please?
No,
can we go old school and just off with their heads? And can we make a spectacle of it? Can I get in my Sunday's best and do that shit?
They took a statue of somebody and like a fake police mannequin and hung it with the news, and people were fucking outraged. But not the same energy for actual Black people. That were alive. Which statues and mannequins, they're like, oh my God.
That lets you know that a lot of people don't look at us as humans
still. I was just gonna say that. And like let's talk about the first part, because I find this very funny. I mean, they already did it to Land O'Lakes, but Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben's rice,
butter,
cream of wheat is also jumping in, and so is Mrs. Butterworth's
cream of white.
But because all of these characters that they had were basically like racist myths of happy Black servitude, right? That's what that was. It was making white people comfortable. Yeah, making white people comfortable enough to buy these things because they thought those. Because I've heard racist remarks in a sense of like, well, we got you out of a terrible condition, brought you here to America and made it better for you because you got to live on our property, blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah,
a legitimate claim from a lot of people.
And then beat your ass and take your babies from you and sell them up the river also.
Or feed your baby to alligators.
You know what I'm saying?
That part.
I mean, the fact that people
rape your kids
are still not outraged by what's happening right now is crazy, but they want to relabel fucking food. Like, that's not what we asked for. I feel like
the biggest thing
that's not what the fuck we asked for.
The root cause of this is you're not outraged the way we would want you to be over slavery. Because even when I hear people talk about it that are not of color, they do it in such a passive way. They're like, slavery is awful, don't get me wrong. Or back then that was really messed up. It is not held with the same respect and regard as the Holocaust or as 9/11. It's just not. And that part just blows my fucking mind, because I'm like, you don't understand how deep this shit goes. You guys went out of your way to make laws and regulations around us and how we looked. And whether we were property or not, or human or not. That's fucking insane.
It's my new thing is when people get like racist, people get butthurt about their like statues and Confederate flags being taken away. My new thing is to tell them to get over it, because it was in the past. That's what I've been telling people, because that's what we get all the time. And when you tell them to get over it,
or tell them, why are you even that upset? You weren't living back then.
That part. That's what exactly where I've been going with the conversations, and they have nothing to say. They have nothing to say. I mean, the fact that, what's his name? This guy, this was so funny. Ray, I didn't even know his name. Ciccarelli. He's a NASCAR driver, and he was like, I'd like to announce that I'm retiring from the NASCAR after this season.
He sucked anyway.
He was like, I cannot drive a car for a league that won't allow my special flag. And fucking NASCAR, they're fucking petty as fuck. They came back and said, we actually had to Google who you were. I'm sure your dozens of fans are real sad about your crusade to defend participation trophies. He said participation trophies. NASCAR said that. They did that. I'm okay with it.
Earnhart or whoever the fuck, they ain't worried about you.
But here's the thing. Okay, so the Confederate flags are down. I'm actually glad about that, because it's like having Nazi flags everywhere. That would not fly anywhere in Germany. You know what I'm saying? It's illegal in Germany. For some reason, it's not illegal here, even though the Confederacy was a terrorist group that tried to overturn
slavery
the US.
Was to help you niggers, okay? And you guys are ungrateful and disrespectful animals.
It's just
all of you.
But like, so that was happening. And then there's this new thing right now that's happening where right here in the heart of fucking America, Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
That's literally deep in the heart of, ain't it?
Why do we all know to say that shit?
So listen, Texas realtors will stop using master to describe bedrooms and bathrooms.
Can we still say plantation homes?
You know what I'm saying? In Louisiana, it's still plantation homes.
That is not what.
That's not what we're asking for. Fucking John Legend.
Or these people that are all like, hey, we are no longer going to let non-Black people voice Black characters.
So that was like 3 of them, right? So Mike Henry stepped down from doing Cleveland. Jenny Slate stepped down from doing that biracial girl that's Big Mouth. And Kristen Bell also stepped down from doing a biracial girl on Central Park. There's a pattern for those biracial things going on, by the way. But the thing is, like, so if with that logic, they're saying that no Black people can voice white people, is that what they're trying to do too? Because there's lots of Black people who voice like white people.
And the only reason I don't like this is because I like that these people, first of all, I didn't know a lot of these people were white, okay? And a lot of white people are allowed to be multifaceted, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I want Black people to have the same opportunity.
Yes.
So if I was the best, okay, that's what it comes down to me. If I am the best voice for Kimber on some little show and she just happens to be a blonde and white, I have the best voice, I should get the job.
Right.
And at the end of the day, as cool as it is to see you guys handle shit that matters but doesn't kind of matter, because I believe anything in the entertainment industry is very heavy, because that goes into how we are perceived, because at the end of the day, everybody doesn't have a experience with every type of race or demographic or whatever, but they'll go off of what they see on a TV show or a movie and then be like, well, they must be like this. So that's why the media and perception is important.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that these people, in my eyes, had to step down, especially when a lot of the characters were tastefully done. It would be different if people were like, man, the Cleveland family on that Cleveland show was just like, no, they got lots of, Cleveland show is genius. Family Guy is genius.
I mean, there's nothing that was offensive, in my opinion.
No,
from those shows. And here's the thing. This feels like all of these things happening feels like the white people who are against white people who are racist and not black people who are against whites.
That's what it is.
That's what it feels like.
It's like they don't want to deal with the real shit, so they're like, what can we do? That seems like it's a big deal,
I don't. Once again, I want to clarify because I want white allies to be able to support us without us being too judgmental, but also I think they need to take into account how some of their practices or what they want for us affects us.
Right.
Because this voice actor thing will affect us negatively in the future.
Right.
If people start saying only white people can do white voices.
Right.
Like
that's going to set a bad precedent.
And they already get upset when we're trying to get equal ground anyway. There's so much, the fact that we have to fight
we can't even have black
time.
movies with mostly black people.
We can't, and have it just looked at as a movie instead of a black thing or a Tyler Perry thing. It just gets put into a box so quick, and everything else is mainstream. It's like, that's the problem. You need to be able to see a whole bunch of brown faces, and that needs to be mainstream. And I don't give a fuck about the population either, because a lot of people use that as an excuse. Well, hey, the majority of population is this, so naturally when you see images it'll be that. And I'm like,
the majority of the culture of our nation comes from that small populace.
That
so what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm like, the issue there is globally you guys are pushing the Caucasian standard, so and globally you guys don't make up the globe. So miss me with all of that when it comes to here in America.
But even when you look at what the global Caucasian standard is, half of that shit is our shit anyway.
First of all, not half. 80%. 80%.
I mean, most of it is.
It came from our culture and our populace.
It's just, I just don't want this to become this, like, once again, white crusade. Them thinking that they came in to swoop us off our feet and help us. It's just like any other fucking Hollywood movie. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need a white lead for this. We're trying to lead this. Just support us. Like, we don't want you to take the lead on this one. Not this time around, because every other time you guys have taken a lead, it has not happened.
Here's my thing. I want you to take the lead because I feel like you guys caused it. You guys benefit from it. Take the lead. Here's the thing. Take the lead. Don't take the credit. That's my whole thing.
Girl, you know they're going
to take the charge. Our problem has always been culturally. You'll take the credit for, whether it's rock and roll music. It doesn't matter what it is. You'll take the credit for it. And it's like, we're pushing this along, but you guys do need to take some type of charge and responsibility because you're benefiting off what your ancestors put out here, and you just need to take the L, however you want to like put it. You just need to put it in the work. Take the L, girl. They need to, because we felt like we couldn't do a lot, and here we are overcoming every goddamn day. You guys can do it. You guys, I believe in you.
Get over it.
Get over it.
You get over it.
A long time ago. It's a long time ago. I'm sure you guys can do it.
Quick break, and we'll be right back.
I believe in you guys.
We're back.
I can't stand these two. They don't stop even when we're on the
We're going to do a survey, and it's going to be like, what Mortal Kombat character would you rather have a hand job from? And that's going to be the survey.
Jax.
Jax is gonna rip your shit off. He's gonna
jack you off.
They're all horrible. Sub-Zero would be horrible. Katana, fuck that shit.
Easy. Sonya Blade got you. Easy.
Woo, Sonya Blade.
Easy.
The best one.
That's easily the winner. Hands down.
I'm not even sure that I want to join this conversation.
Who do you want to?
Or Kano. That would be a good one.
How about none? They're all dangerous.
You want nobody to do like a
okay, so if you could sleep, like, wait a minute.
Who you want to grind against your clitoris?
Yeah, like if you could sleep with any Mortal Kombat character, who would it be?
Oh, to sleep with.
Like if you were gonna fuck one, because that's like easy.
There's not very many attractive Mortal Kombat characters.
First of all, yes, there is.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I would definitely fuck Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Really?
Probably at the same time.
Wow.
I would.
Oh, you ratchet? You fuck with brothers?
That's because she listened to Keisha Cole. She is ratchet.
Not bringing it back around to Keisha Cole. Leave Keisha Cole alone.
Full circle.
Full circle. We'll put that out there as a survey, you guys.
Oh my God, we should. What
about
Yes.
Raiden?
Absolutely, Raiden, because he can power up your sex toys because he has the
he can charge them. You don't gotta.
He can charge it.
So he's just a human charger. I'm done.
Human charger. Liu Kang, no.
Oh, absolutely. I already said that earlier. Definitely get him to
Liu Kang earlier.
And he'd be like, oh, yeah, do all that. Do all that.
Jax, though. Jax got it. Jax. And you know what? Katana and Melina would make for a great threesome. Katana and Melina?
Melina and Jade.
Oh, Melina and Jade. There you go.
Katana strike me as the type of bitch where she ain't finna deal with nobody else. You gotta be with her
She's like a
separately.
solo dolo.
Yeah, you gotta deal with her separately. Melina
I feel like Jade sleeps with all people.
And I feel
Melina
like Jade
is down for whatever.
Melina don't give a fuck.
So there we go. We figured it out, you guys.
I know we did not just take 3 minutes to talk this out. I know we did not just talk this out.
Come on, we could have total like great nerd episodes, and
we totally
would do well.
Need to.
They would do so well.
Deanne was talking about he wanted to talk about stuff like that too, so we might
see, and then we can talk about how we cosplay in the bedroom. It'll be cute.
Cosplay in the bedroom.
It'll be really cute. I'll have us put out some of our business out there. Dan don't mind.
We're gonna have a whole month of just putting
what in the racist bullshit were you just saying?
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and no, we ain't finna do that shit.
I'm done.
Yo, you remember that black lady on Tom and Jerry?
That's why I said what I said.
Fucking shit I've ever remember seeing. I was like, why is she drinking a beer and smoking cigarettes and playing cards? That shit had me dying.
Big as hell.
Dude, let's talk about how all these fucking characters on cartoons, all the black kids were always sports kids. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. And someone did a post,
that's
they tagged me in, that they always had like the same look, the same haircut.
Of course.
And I was just like, we do not get to be multifaceted.
No, it doesn't.
Like they just jumble us all together.
Kids Club?
Yes!
Jaws. His name was Jaws. The Burger King Kids Club. You remember that shit?
It's so terrible. It's so
well, it's cool to be a kid.
I do. I remember him because I was like, "Oh my god, he's black!" And then I was like, "Wait a minute, he looks like Gerald from Hey Arnold, who also looks like the kid from Recess, who also looks like the kid from
Skeeter."
Everybody.
Yeah,
it's everybody. That was terrible. Speaking of episodes, like all these streaming services are pulling episodes on shows like Golden Girls, where they think might be fucking the Golden Girls one. I didn't read into it, but that was a face mask that they had on.
Oh, not only did they do that, there was a Confederate one with John Cheadle.
That was an educational episode.
But they're still having an issue. And I'm just like, that shouldn't be an issue because
it's educational.
The issue was resolved in the goddamn episode.
Right. And that was an educational
and they're doing it
episode.
They're doing it with 30 Rock too, which was something not super recent, but recent enough where people know who Tina Fey is and everything else. And apparently there was an episode, well, a couple episodes, where blackface was done on 30 Rock, which was just like, what?
It's a little much. And like I really wish that people would like, I don't know, I keep saying this anytime we talk about shows like Friends or Frasier or anything like that, like if you take it out of context of the timeline, it doesn't work because the history of that being there. And I understand that they want to take this out because it's offensive, but yet Disney has all their shit on fucking display on Disney Plus as well.
Yeah, they don't
like they put a disclaimer out. They were like, "Cause have you seen these old Disney fucking shows?"
You told us about it when we did our Disney.
Yeah,
episode.
Like if you haven't watched
check out our Disney episode if you haven't seen it.
Good plug. Good job.
Good plug. Yeah.
I'm just saying because like they're like I said, they're doing everything but arresting cops and getting us justice and equity and peace. Like we're getting nothing. They're painting BLM on the streets. They're fucking, I don't know, canceling TV shows, pulling episodes. They're making changes in sports. The fucking voice actors are quitting their job. Companies are relabeling their fucking packages.
Like,
which are things that I want done.
I want done, but that's not what's
not the main thing.
That's not the priority right now.
But then that lets you know they're about what's doing easy and what they think is going to pacify us. Because again, we don't have gatekeepers. We don't have like basically being like, hey, this is what we said we wanted, which can be contradictory because then in one breath, I've said many times, hey, we're all not the same and whatever, right? But then the other side of me is like, well, since you looping us all in the same group, maybe 80% of us need to agree. Like I've heard Killer Mike say like, hey, these are our demands. This is what we said we wanted. So if you want our vote or if you want this shit to stop or whatever it is you want, You do this shit for the majority of our people, and then we'll be easy for a minute until the next time we need something. If you keep playing games like this,
and you know what the issue is, that it all comes down to education, I think, right? Like when we were talking about the master bedroom thing with the realtors in Texas not calling it the master bedroom, when me and Rob were having that conversation, he innocently did not understand that the master bedroom was called that because slaves were taken to the master's room to be raped, or what was it called, comfort girls or whatever,
comfort girls, yeah.
Comfort girls, right? And other shit that happened in the master's room, and that's where that name is typically derived from here. So that's great, but like, again, not what we asked for. Like Brandy said, we still calling everything plantation homes and shit.
Yeah,
in Louisiana here.
You watch the HGTV and stuff like
a plantation home,
and we're just like, the fuck?
Dude, if you go to Louisiana right now, like, I didn't realize how crazy Louisiana is till I got older and lived there for a minute, because you can everything's still named that Plantation Way, Plantation Home, this, like, you can
there's
go
a
on
lot
tours.
Of stuff down south, because when I was in Florida and I remember going to a temp agency and this was a minute ago, because I had a TomTom, so this was a minute ago. And the TomTom was like, oh yeah, turn down Plantation Road. I was like, do what now? Like, I know you fucking lying. I was like, it's really called Plantation Road. I'm like, and there's no issue with that. I know
exactly where you're talking about.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Pensacola.
It's like when when Rob's fucking friend's wife was like, yo, what about this plantation venue for your wedding? I was like, did you fucking just say a plantation venue for my fucking wedding? Like, nah, dude. Like, I'm black, right? And also Asian. Not one single drop of me wants to be on a fucking plantation for any fucking reason. And all these venues here that I was looking at, more than half of them have that plantation look to it, just so you guys know. It is fucking ridiculous.
It looks like your ancestors could be in the fields, and you're just like,
we gotta see ghosts.
Don't want to deal with this
Don't
shit.
Do it. You're marrying a white guy.
Right. They're gonna be like, girl.
Tales from the Hood.
Get out.
The nigglets, Tales from the Hood. The nigglets come. They come at her wedding.
Not the nigglets. I'm done. Oh my God. Nah, for real. Like, I'm just, it's so crazy to me that of all the things that they could be doing, like passing laws or policies or new whatever, they're just fucking relabeling.
Let's do all this other shit and make everybody extremely uncomfortable, because that's what the fuck you're doing. And fucking Jemima. That is the least of my fucking... Aunt Jemima ain't getting nobody knocked off.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
I mean,
Aunt Jemima.
Really, like, all of this is going on. Meanwhile, we talked about it on our news angle.
Fuck out of here.
Where, people are getting shot up still, and nothing is happening.
And
people are being lynched.
And people are being hung, and nothing is happening.
And they're like,
so are we just supposed to ignore
all
the fact
black
that
people are killing themselves the same way?
They're all ruining them suicides.
Not to make light of, mental issues in the black community, because we know that's a heavy big deal.
Yeah, but it's too much.
However,
the same time in the
y'all
same
know what the fuck y'all
way.
Doing.
It's like, not everybody. There's so many ways to off yourself. We're all just gonna hang ourselves. This is what we're all.
And then if so many of them believe on this black on black crime like they say they do, there's no way that we did this then, because we just like killing each other, right?
No.
So who did it?
That's that part. Part. You're not gonna come through and tell us that it was one of us doing any of this shit. I mean, like, I just can't imagine any black person trying to do that to any other black person, even if
ain't no way.
Ain't no way. They would have just brought their Glock out and shot him, just cap and ass. That's it.
In and out.
Pretty much.
No.
They ain't trying to stay to do all of that. Like, God, I don't know.
They're trying to prove a point with stuff
and
like that. You're trying to prove a point. You're trying to let it be. You're trying to let it be known.
Mm-hmm.
This is what was historically done. This is what we're still capable of. We will do it when we feel like we can.
That's basically. That's how I feel too.
That's all it is.
I think they're trying to make examples out of people, and they don't care how they do it. And I think that they're trying to do a scare tactic. But I think what they aren't putting into calculations with that is that this younger generation, like us and younger, don't give a fuck about that shit. And we will go find some shit.
I'm like, they'll go harder. Yeah. Let them find out you're really behind some shit. They're going to go harder. And that's what you don't want. Because if you're clearly already afraid and feel a way about black people. You really don't want us to act like the monsters you feel like we are.
I mean, what was that meme that I saw the other day? They think that they have a couple generations of people who grew up on Hunger Games and shit movies like that. And you don't think we're trying to overturn the fucking government when you trying to fucking take us down? You did that. Listen, you fucking put it in our brains. Like, how you want to back up?
Anytime some bullshit would come up, I'm like, I don't know what you thought this was, but I ain't my ancestors. I ain't even my mama and grandmama and them, where for survival, they had to be quiet. It's like, no, bitch, if I feel away, you definitely finna hear. I remember a time I was at the bank and this lady felt a way about like either the money I was giving or a check or something. It's an older lady, because for some reason, older white women just feel like they run everything
because they're racist ass motherfuckers.
I couldn't believe it. She was trying to tell them to like hold it up to the light and do all that stuff. And I was like, ma'am, can I help you? Do you work here? Because this is real. And I'm having a real moment and you're behind me.
She didn't work there?
Say, no, she didn't work there, but that's the problem. That was an old school Karen who thought she worked there. Bitch, you got the right and the wrong one at the same
Barbara,
time. Because I can respect my elders and also fuck you up.
Gertie.
Like, do not do it. And I can fuck you up without putting my hands on you. So then you'll really be upset then. And you can't call the police because the black girl was just mean to you at Walmart.
That part.
I don't fucking think so.
Oh no, what's their favorite word? That's slander. I got some of these last
slander
few weeks.
These nuts.
Because I just be killing them verbally. I'm like, don't come for me. I will kill you verbally as well. Like, I'm not the one. It's like me.
It's subtle shit too.
Irate.
You ever be in a store and then they think they can do whatever they want, like passing by you without saying excuse me or pushing their cart in your way, and it's like, bitch.
Oh yeah. Okay. Can we talk about white older white women in the fucking grocery stores and other stores in their carts? Whether I'm at Michael's, Joann's, Kroger's, and I know they fucking see you. I'm gonna put it. I want to know, because I know it's not just me. They fucking see you. And you know what I do now? I just bump their fucking cart with mine. I don't even say excuse me. I just move their cart with my cart. And they're like, gas, nah, bitch, you saw me coming, didn't bother making a move. I've never had that happen with Asian and black women. I will put it out there. I don't even care. Never. Most of the black ladies, as a matter of fact, I'm sorry, baby. No, it's okay, mama. I got you. It's all right. You take your time. They don't even say nothing. White women really act like they own the motherfucking planet, along with their racist white fucking husbands. And now when we say that, we're not talking about our white friends and all the people who are allies.
Oh yeah, we don't think it's like everybody.
So don't fucking at me and all this bullshit.
Right. We don't think it's everybody, but unfortunately there's a majority. That's why you're having the problem.
Okay, so here's the thing though.
A majority.
This conversation we're having about the white ladies in the cart, I've had it with my other black girlfriends too, and they've had the same experience. That means this is not just
even without carts. When you're walking, because I used to think my mom was bugging when she used to, because I remember this when I was younger. She'd be like, "Hey, you don't move, you make them move," and I used to be like, "Damn, why are we being so aggressive?" Because we were such in a bubble overseas, and I really wasn't thinking about that shit. And then got back to the States, and it's culture shock, and I would see just instances where you guys are waiting for me to move, instead of you moving.
Or going
and
around.
Just inherently
when there's
going
plenty
around. So
of
I'm
room.
like, no, I don't play that shit anymore.
People want to say that shit like that doesn't exist here in America, but we've had the experience and the luxury of growing up in another place and coming back to some bullshit.
And seeing all of it.
All of the bullshit.
This shit did not happen where we were. We come back and we see this shit is live and direct.
But the fact that
we're home now. Welcome fucking home. This is what the fuck you gotta deal with.
And the fact that what CJ brought up when we were talking about Japan's numbers going down in the coronavirus and New Zealand and some other places, and we're just like, damn, what's the difference outside of population or whatever? And then we're like, the culture. We're full of assholes over here. Like, that's just what it is. Entitled assholes that don't want to be told what to do or anything. And then you have whole other countries and shit that are working together to get their shit together.
I mean, like, Japan is probably getting ready to open Disneyland back up and all this other stuff because their numbers are so low. They're still doing, like, you know, a like super social distancing. Nobody can touch the characters and shit like that. And they have all these things in place.
Yeah, we can't.
We can't. Listen, I can't even. The fact that people, like, our ordinances here in Texas, it's not even ordinances because the governor said that we need to do it. So all the businesses have to have people wearing masks if you're in it. And then, there's obvious exceptions like kids under 10, blah, 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 which I'm like, why wouldn't you want them wearing their mask if they can too? And then so now everybody has a medical condition where they can't wear a mask, right? Like everybody.
More like it.
My favorite meme right now is the KKK members didn't have a problem wearing their masks all night. What's your problem? That's my favorite right now. Too. Because I just
can dance around a fucking fire.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And it's also, hot.
Right? Did we talk about them burning the crosses last time? Did we talk about that, or was that in my own mind? Was I thinking about that in my own? Okay, so here's my thing about the KKK. I know this is a little off topic, but you guys realize that they're not fucking Christian of any kind, even if they claim to be, if they're burning crosses?
I was just going to say, how come that was never talked about? Which also goes to what we talk about when we say white privilege. The fact that the Vatican or nobody was on their asses to be like, why the fuck are you burning
crosses? If that's not the most satanic shit.
Isn't that what they say, sacrilegious or whatever the shit? Like,
so we don't do it to burn the cross, we do it to illuminate.
No, I know.
Anything to be right.
But, if the words that they're using are satanical, you realize that illuminating a cross is
Lucifer, which also means
yes,
Taylor. See, but y'all get that on the way.
Y'all don't hear us though. Y'all
don't hear us. Y'all hear us though.
Again, shout out to Grant. I seen your shit today too.
Y'all don't hear us though.
I'm just saying, like, and shout out to Fareed. I've seen him do that too. Thanks for using the hashtags.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thanks for listening all the way through to all our ridiculous episodes and using all of our shit. I love it. We're gonna make it fetch. We're gonna make it happen.
Oh God, no, we're gonna make it fetch. Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying. But no, for real though, like there's so many questions I have about the Klan, because nobody caught any of that, and no Christian was like, they're burning fucking crosses. How can we let them keep doing this? This is supposed to be a Christian nation, no? Like majority
thought
is
so.
Christian. Majority.
Oh, well, that's a warped version of Christianity. Like,
well, of course, because
what fits our agenda the best?
I mean,
let's cherry pick
Let's cherry pick everything. Gays and blacks bad, white man good, women need to shut up and just have the babies. This is about right. I like this. Let's go with that.
Handmaid's Tale in a nutshell.
Yeah. One nation under God. Let's do it. Shit.
No one nation under God. I'm so
indivisible with liberty and justice.
With liberty and
we really memorized that, didn't we?
Fucking drone shit. Now that I think about it, is that?
That's creepy as fuck.
What type of cultish shit is that? Now that I think about it.
Yeah, it is.
I was 5 and just knew the shit.
I knew it.
And just knew
it too. I was like 4.
I pledge allegiance to the flag. Like, wait a minute. We mean the flag that really wasn't for me?
Morning,
by the way, can we just talk about I think Brandy posted it, the fucking textbook Egyptian on our podcast page. Literally like some white collar white dude with a fucking pharaoh hat on.
Well, they don't even match. Like the shit don't go together.
And
like Nancy Pelosi with a kente cloth. That's what it reminded me of.
I guess they said if Elizabeth Taylor could be Cleopatra, surely Chad should be a pharaoh.
Right.
They keep making all those new monuments and like statues from like the Kemetic era like pale, so I'm not surprised.
Which is also funny
Nefertiti like white that one time.
We talked about this in a different episode, but just the brilliance that came out of Egypt period is unmatched.
Of course.
And it just made more sense for them to make that as white as possible.
Of course.
And everything else in Africa is black, right? But this little place, all of it is the only one that wasn't touched with the brown people.
All. Not
Are
at all.
you
the
kidding
fact
me?
That, okay, it's so sad. This is how sad it is. Because the proof is in the pudding. So when you look at the attire.
I hate pudding.
Ancient, right? Me too. What the fuck is
Why
pudding?
Don't people
anyway,
say
that's
proof
another
is
conversation.
In the Jell-O?
Jell-O's gross too.
Jell-O is amazing. You can swallow it so easy. Shut up.
The proof is in the bread pudding. That's
the proof is in the bread pudding. I like that.
Yes, or the rice pudding.
The proof is in the Jell-O shots.
Yes,
that's
Jell-O shots. Let's go with that.
Back to the point.
Back to the point.
Evidence is there. So if you look at, this is me getting all weird and shit and putting my fucking scholastic hat on. But
yes, scholastic
hat. You look at just the attire and the culture of the people. So are you guys familiar with the Maasai tribe?
Yes.
In Kenya. If you look at the necklaces that they wear, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If you look at those necklaces, those are like the same fucking necklaces that they had in fucking ancient Egypt.
Yes.
It's straight down the Nile Valley right into Kenya. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So like, do people think like Egypt just wasn't trading or talking
they were
to
trading
anybody
and spreading
else?
ideas, and this culture spread throughout sub-Saharan Africa. And what people don't realize, that there was not always a Sahara desert. That's what people don't realize. At one point, it was all lush.
Right.
And then shit happened, and that's another story. I can go into why there's a Sahara desert now.
Right.
But it now developed, and it created like a big gap between these two people. So yeah, they lost touch for a while because it was a dangerous trek to get from here to there.
Right.
So very few people did it, but the ideas have already been spread.
Yeah.
So the cultures are still there now. Have you noticed in sub-Saharan Africa, the hats that they wear, the women, right?
Yeah.
Very similar to the ones that they have the bust of Nefertiti and all these other
and it may be different cloth, but it's still very much the same look.
The same look.
I mean, even
shape.
what is it? They even have the Kemetic priests, basically what we would call priests, wearing the same type of attire that the people in the Vatican does. You know what I'm saying?
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
now,
just,
did you hear, like, we won't go into it too much here, but
that might be our WTF episode,
what the fuck episode.
Yeah.
We just saw this really dope, cool theory about Nefertiti, basically being an alien. It's amazing.
That her
so
head was
amazing.
like, yes.
Because if you notice how
her head went into the hat?
Yeah, because if you notice how they make her, and I want to say Ramses, if you notice how they have them in hieroglyphics in any of the art versus anybody else, it's nowhere near this. There's nobody else that looks like them.
Yeah.
There's nobody else that has like what they had. And I'm just like, what made you guys so different? So yeah, it's a lot, but it's really cool.
I think he was a giant, wasn't he?
The Anunnakis.
No, Akhenaten, the pharaoh.
Oh, I don't know. I gotta look.
He was big than the motherfucker. I have to look more into it.
I know the Nefertiti one.
No, but like for real, look it up.
Oh my god, let's do a WTF episode on Egypt and the Kemetic religion. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Because it's really cool, and even when they have like, go.
No, because it's so closely related to, like, what comes out of Egypt is so closely related to every goddamn thing else. Dude. Like, if you look at all the, like, Semitic religions, like, you know, Judaism, and here comes Christianity and Islam, as well as African religions, too.
Didn't I send you the pages out of the Kemetic Bible next to the Christian Bible, the King James
I think you
version?
posted. Didn't you post it?
Crazy. I think I posted it, but like it's literally the same excerpts with a couple extra words in one or the the and it's the same.
All that is translation. I'm telling you,
and it's one
crazy
thing, and not to like bash anybody's religion, but I'm saying this. Just think logically, y'all. It's one thing to have a religion, period. It's another thing to decide to use it when you're ruling a place,
right? That part.
And deciding that we're going by this law and this government based off this, and if you're going against that, it's a war. If you're going that will kill you. If you're going that's a completely different ball game. So just pay attention to when that switch happens, because that's what be making me look like, what the fuck is really going on?
And that is
we have to do that.
That is why we're here in the U.S. struggling to be Black. That's exactly why. Like, I can't. And that's why I have a problem with traditional Christianity. Like,
traditional Christianity is problematic. I think
all of it. I mean, that. It's very hard because I grew up on it too, to not like, because I think the core of it has been something that Kemetic religions have done. I feel like, you know, they blessed their food before they ate it, blessed their drinks before they drank it, gathered people to do those things, but they called it something else probably. So I have no problem blessing my food before I eat it. I think that's really something that you need to do, but I can't,
especially since people curse it,
you know, and I can't put that together with Christianity. I feel like, you know, what they call New Age, which I call Old Age. The old age fucking religions had it right already.
Ain't nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, and then Christianity just took and ran with it. And so it's not that I'm bashing Christianity in any way, because I grew up in that, so I understand it.
And then CJ was being specific when she said traditional Christianity, because what I learned just in conversations and what Dee and I talked about, because we're like, if we had to check a box, it would be that, but we don't feel like we're traditional Christian people.
That's what I'm saying.
So, but you notice you'll get backlash for being like, hey, I could believe in Black Jesus, and still take something else too and be like, this seems more right to me with this stuff.
You know what's
and
crazy?
When you start thinking about that, people easily, all of a sudden you're demonic, all of a sudden you're this, and it's just like, what the
There's
fuck?
even Christians who think that Jesus was a female. And there's so many versions of it. I mean, because if you go to different like countries, their Jesus is that country's person, like their ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? Their
and
race.
Shout out to Dorinda, because I think her and I talked about this, and me and another friend, because I said I'm not feminist by any means, but I have a problem, and I've noticed this in other religions where I'm like, it's this male, he. Now, upon research, depending on where we're talking about in what time period, male and female were both referred to as he. So I won't bash certain religions and areas because that's just what it was. Like there was a time where women were even called handsome, and it was a compliment.
That was.
So they were interchanging those pronouns.
They flip the script on the.
They flip it, but then there's other ones that are just like he. And when I start to think about it, I'm like, okay, who wrote it? Who does this benefit?
Right.
Why are we not referred to it? What is it going to hurt to say she? What would that have done as far as empowering? You know what I mean?
Genesis 1:26. He says, and God said, let us make man in our own image. Who the hell was he talking to?
That part. I've always wondered about that. Because there's so many. Oh my God. So are we going to have to do an episode on the universe and God? Is that what we're saying?
We're going to have to.
I mean, like, we'll just expand on what we've already talked about. Because even with that, and we're not cherry pickers. We're just trying to get people to think more. Because I'm like, even if we take something like that, and like CJ said, just being like, man, I've always thought about that. It also puts us in a position where we have to say, okay, well, what about this are we believing and what are we not? What are we saying is written by man and what are we saying is really just divinely given? It's all up for debate the way I see it. Yep. It is all up for conversation. It's all up for debate. And I feel that way about anybody's religion.
The only reason why it's up for debate so much is because people are so manipulative and devious that they will be willing to alter shit just to fuck with people or just to, cherry pick what they want.
And that includes we're talking what we've seen or experienced or even talked about like globally. We're not just talking about, and this is no shade, it's just gonna sound like shade. We're not talking about your little podunk church that's in the Bible Belt. We're not just talking about that. No shade. Because when you really do research, you're like, it's insane how powerful the Vatican is. That's scary as shit.
That's scary.
You know what I mean?
Documents
and when you get into that, and when you get into the Knights Templar, and that shit is crazy.
And that's the thing.
That people don't have access to?
Well,
you're telling me
secret?
What?
But see, that's the thing.
This
so
make or break me, my soul.
When people go and do Bible study, they don't study the history of it, though, right? That's the problem that I have. When you go
in regular Bible study, a lot of people don't even want to do the research of saying this was true for this time period in this context.
Right.
We're not applying this right now. They don't want to do that. That's the main thing that bothers me.
Because we would have to stone each other for wearing stuff.
For tattoos, for everything. I would have been a witch and stoned many times.
And all these motherfuckers talking shit is wearing mixed fabric.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you got
and eating whatever they want. And then when you break it down, it's
crab
like,
legs.
Okay. And then when you break it down further, it's like, okay, who comes out on top in a lot of these stories? Well, I have to be a white man to win. Why? That's a problem. That's a problem.
I mean, there's so many books they've left out too. But anyway, we need to do an episode of that.
Scrolls and shit.
I was just gonna say books by Magdalene.
I be trying to tell CJ, but
But anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. So our point was that white people trying to pacify us and not give us what we want. I need people to share this fucking episode and tell your white friends who don't understand that not calling it a master bedroom is not good enough. We can't
keep calling it a master bedroom.
I don't care. That's not what we care about. I just need somebody to arrest the fucking cops that killed Breonna Taylor.
Listen,
I need the eye to eye to happen to the cops who helped kill fucking George Floyd. I need the people who hung these 8 men across the nation to be found and taken care of, through the judicial system. I just don't understand why.
Or if somebody wants to be a vigilante,
might want to be a vigilante.
You know what?
If somebody wants to pull a Bruce Wayne,
last thing I'm gonna say, no. Rob brought this up the other night.
If you want to pull a Zimmerman and be a vigilante, you can do that too.
Rob brought this up the other night. He said V for Vendetta is basically what's happening right now and in the year that we're in.
And if you haven't seen it, it's trending on Netflix right now. At
is
no
it
surprise.
Really?
Oh yeah,
it's such
Netflix.
a good movie.
No
if you haven't seen it, like we watch it every
Knew,
November.
it was old boy from Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
who played him,
and he's so good in it.
Oh, he's a good looking guy to me too. So that's another one.
Remember the 5th of November. You gotta watch it.
I liked it, and I like Natalie Portman a lot. She doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah. She hasn't been problematic yet.
Well, I mean, no, she hasn't.
Yet.
And then I think a lot of that is because she's been running her mouth too much about women having power in Hollywood.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
true.
notice she ain't in shit like that no more. I mean, it would be amazing if they really did push and promote her because she's supposed to be the next Thor. But outside of joining the MCU, had she not done that, nobody was checking for her after Black Swan. And when she was like, hey, I remember she wore a dress with all of the female directors and writers and all that stuff on it to the award show because she's like, we're not getting credit.
Yeah.
And then when you see shit like that, you like, when a little white girl can't win, I know y'all ain't checking for us.
No, they're not checking for us. Dude, they're not checking on us. They're more worried about lions getting shot than us. Are you kidding?
Child.
Doggos getting beat up. Like, I'm not saying that animals don't matter. Don't at me with that shit either. Okay? If it's just saying black lives matter.
That bullshit. I don't give a fuck. Because people are people. And what the Bible say? Maybe I'm just playing.
I was like, I couldn't even tell you what the Bible says.
Anyway, before we go on too long, because we can talk about this shit forever. If you've enjoyed our episode thus far, please make sure to subscribe to our your favorite podcast platform. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like and comment, hit that notification bell so you can get all our episodes every week. Our Triangl episodes drop every Thursday at noon Central. Our low brown news episodes drop on Mondays at 9 a.m. I don't know what she's dancing to, neither D. They always do this and make my life really hard. By the way, if you would like to support a black podcast like us, subscribe. You can go
subscribe
through
to
our
the
link. Subscribe to our link. You can start at 99 cents a month.
No more.
Or just play our commercials so that we can get a few cents.
Yes, dirty wine to hell, D.
Oh my God! Come on, D. That's what that was. Anyway, so on that note, stay blessed, stay woke, logical, and safe. Stay black if you're black. If you're not, support POCs and Allies Unite. Peace out, guys. Bye.
Bye.